Ajnanatimirandasya Gyananjanashalakaya Chakshurumilitam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Bandegam Shri Guru Varam Shri Rupanuga Pravaram Brajarasa Rasikam Chanaranam Tam Prapanam Shri Guru Charanam Bande Ramana Presthaya Bhutale Rupanuga Bhakti-ram Kripa Murti Narayanam Namashistam Manumapi Sachiputra Matra Swarupam Rupam Tasya Grajanurupuri Maturim Gostavatim Radha Kundam Girivaram Aho Radhika Madhavasyam Prapto Yasya Pratita Kripaya Shri Gurum Tam Natosmi He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Brindavaneshwari Vrishavanusute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Ha Devi Kakubarakat Kadayatya Vacha Yache Nipatya Bhuvitandavat Urvatarti Asya Prasadana Budasya Janasya Kripta Gandharvike Nijagane Kananam Vitehi Anarpita Charinchirat Karune Vatina Kalau Samat Paditu Munato Chvalarasam Sobhaktisham Hari Purata Sundari Radhika Dambasanipita Sata Kritaya Kandares Puratu Basa Chinandana Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Kora Bhaktarinda Panchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhuvyevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. First of all, I would like to offer my humble obeisances to the lotus feet of my divine spiritual master, Nitya Lila Pravishtu Om Vishupad Paramahansa Parivirajakacharya Ashtutara Satra Shishimat Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami Guru Maharaj, and I pray for his mercy. Also, I would like to offer my humble obeisances to the lotus feet of all my spiritual guardians, and I pray for the causeless mercy. I also would like to offer my humble obeisances to the lotus feet of all my Rupa Nuga Guru Varga and to all the Vaishnavas from the past, the present, and the future. Dandava Pranams. Today is the very auspicious day of Radhastami. Radhastami is the 8th day after the new moon, and it is the appearance day of Srimati Radhika. So Radharani, for the Gaudiya Vaishnavas, this is the most important Tiri, Ishtadev. She is our Ishtadev. She is our worshipful goddess. And Srila Gurudev has explained many beautiful things that I would like to repeat today. Srimati Radhika is directly the supreme personality of Godhead. She is Radha Krishna are one. They're one soul. But they are manifested in two different forms in order to enjoy rasa. So Radha and Krishna are non-different. They are the same. Krishna is Shakti Man, the possessor of all the potencies, and Srimati Radhika, she is Shakti, potency. So without Srimati Radhika, Krishna cannot do anything, because through her, he manifests everything, through her potency. Krishna is described like an arm, but without Radhika, he cannot move. So Radha and Krishna are Swarup Shakti. They are Parashakti, the supreme potency, original potency. And in this day, I would like to speak about the song, Haribol Samir, Tanda Pranams. I would like to speak about the song of Jayadeva Goswami that's called Mangala Geetam. It's a very beautiful song, very powerful, very deep. Actually, nobody is qualified in this world to hear this kirtan. The only person is Krishna himself. So this song starts by saying, Shita Kamala Kuchaman Tala Trita Kundalage Kalita Lalita Panamala Jaya Jaya Deva Hare. It says that Shita Kamala Kuchamandala, that Drita Kundalage, that Krishna, when he hears Drita Kundala, he's decorated with jewels, but Drita Kundala, the earring. But really, the real ornament of Krishna's ears is that he's always hearing Radhika's glories. That is the ornament of Krishna's ear. He's always ornamented with the glories of Srimati Radhika. Dita Kundalake. So when Radhika, her body is so powerful because it is the embodiment of Mahabhav, the highest degree of prema, divine love. Prema, sneha, man, pranaya, rag, anurag, bhav, maha. There's so many different levels of prema, of love. And the highest of all is called Mahabhav. Mahabhava Swarupini Radhika Thakurani. Radhika, she is the embodiment of this highest degree of prema, which is Mahabhav. So when Radhika, just the waves of her presence, of this Mahabhav, reach Krishna, immediately he starts to shake. He starts to sweat. He's almost ready to faint. This is how powerful are the waves emanating from the body of Srimati Radhika, which is this Mahabhav, the highest degree of transcendental love. So, Shita Kamala Kucha Mandala Trita Kundala. When Krishna, when Radhika talks very softly in his ear, the sweet words, or only when Radhika emanates this prema, this Mahabhav, this just the energy of this prema that emanates from her body, then Krishna immediately starts to shake, starts to sweat, and he faints. Venum karam nipatitam skalitam shikantam brastam chapita rajanam rajarada sunyo yasyaka taksha saragata vimuchitasya tam radhika parichadami kadarasena. Prabhupada Saraswati Thakur is praying, when will I be able to serve this God with this ras, this mood? When will I be able to serve like this? Prabhupada Saraswati Thakur says that this rasa, that when only Radhika, she only takes one glance, Srimati Radhika, just one glance. And Benum, Krishna's flute falls, Benum karam nipatitam, skalitam shikandan, his peacock feather falls on the ground, his clothes start to loosen, and bimurchita, he faints completely. Just by Benum karam nipatitam, skalitam shikandam, brastan chapita prasanam rajarayashuno yasyakataksha. They're like sidelong glances. Only by this, by one glance, like an arrow. Because Krishna is going to graze the cows in the morning. Very early in the morning, he's going to go graze the cows. And at a distance, Srimati Radhika is doing archana. She's doing worship. Not with a plate, not with flowers, not with incense, no. By her glance, she is doing archana to Krishna. And by this glance, it's so powerful that it's like an arrow that pierces Krishna's heart. And then he faints. And at that moment, Madhu Mangal tries to tell him, please don't. You see, Yashoda Nanda Baba are watching. Don't embarrass yourself. But in other occasions also, Radhika, she casts just this glance, and Krishna faints, and then she gives him shelter. Shita Kamala Kucha Mandala Trita Kundalage. By hearing just the glories of Radhika, he starts to faint. And Radhika, Shrita Kamala is Radharani, Kucha. Her breast, she gives shelter. She actually catches him from falling and gives him shelter with her breast, like a sponge, like a pillow. So this is the meaning of Shita Kamala Kucha Mandala Drita kundala hai. Krishna's earrings. Krishna's ornamentation, like fish. But actually, Gurudev explains that the real ornament of Krishna's ear is hearing the glories and the glorification of Srimati Radhika, or also Radhika's sweet voice. Also, Ujjvala Nilamani. Ujjvala Nilamani means that Krishna, Radhika, this ornament, this blue jewel is actually the jewel that ornaments Krishna's ear, but it is the glorification of Srimati Radhika. So, Shitakamala Kuchamandala Drita Kutala Kalita Lalita Panamala. Krishna is wearing a garland, very beautiful garland, with minimum seven colors from the forest, different flowers from different colors of the forest flowers. And he wears this garland up, down to his feet. And this garland is surrounded by so many bees that want to take the nectar. And they're all chanting Radhe, 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 Radhe. All these bees around, they're chanting Radhe, Radhe, Radhe. So, this is the meaning of this song. Shita Kamala Kuchamandala Drita Kundale Kalita Lalita Panamala. Kalita, extremely beautiful. Lalita, very beautiful. Bana Mala, a mala, a necklace of bana, of the forest flowers. And then Jayadeva Goswami says, Jaya Jaya Deva Hare, which means, Jayadeva means, Jaya, Jaya, all glories, Jaya Jaya, Deva, to that Krishna. Jaya Jaya Deva Hare, but it also means all glories to Jaya Jaya Deva Hare, all glories to the Ishtadev, the worshipful deity, the worshipful goddess of Jaya Deva Goswami, which is Srimati Radhika. So Jaya Jaya Deva Hare, all glories to the worshipful deity of Jaya Deva Goswami, which is Srimati Radhika. Then he continues singing very beautifully the song Dinamani Mandana Mandana Bhavakandarage, which says Dina Mani Mandara means Dina Mani Mandara. The general meaning is that Krishna is the jewel that shines within all the universe. But it also means Dina Mani Mandala Manda, from the whole universe. But also it means that Srila Gurudev explains that the sun, Dina Mani Mandara Mandara, which is the center of the whole universe, is actually the sun, right? But in this case it says Krishna, but really it is referring to Srimati Radhika, because she is, if we chant the Gayatri mantra, the Brahma Gayatri, Brahma Gayatri, it says Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi. I meditate in the Bhargo, in the potency of Deva, of Krishna. So that potency of Krishna is Srimati Radhika. And also, it is said Tejo Varni Mridam. No, it says in the Brahma Gayatri, Om Bhurbuva Swaha Tat Savitur Varemyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi. Om Bhurbuva Swaha Tat Savitur Varemyam. Tat Savitur means the sun, the energy, all that potency of the sun. But actually, where does this energy come from? This sun. Who is the Ishtadev? Who is the worshipful deity of the sun? It is Radharani. She is actually the one that gives all the potency. The sun can give life and heat and light to the whole universe. The sun has this power to give light, life to all living entities of the universe. But where is this sun? The root cause of this energy is Srimati Radhika. Just like the sun has so much light, but it's actually, the moon also has light. But that light is coming from the sun. The light of the moon is coming from the sun. So in the same way, the sun is actually the original power, the root, Mula Shakti, is Srimati Radhika. So she is the one that gives, and even the sun worships his original source of energy, which is Srimati Radhika. So then Srila Gurudev, very beautiful, explaining all these things every year, every single year, but he would change every day, every year something. So beautiful how Srila Gurudev explains these things. And Dinamani Mandala Mandana Bhava Kandarahe. It is also referring to that Krishna is the son of the whole universe, actually of Braj Mandala. The Braj Mandala is like a flower and the center is the sun. He is like the sun that makes the gopis bloom like lotus flowers. Also, he is giving, the whole Braj Mandala is like a lotus, but it also refers to Rasa Leela, specifically to Rasa Leela. So, Dinamani Mandala Mandal Bhavakandarahe, that it is Krishna, but it is Radhika who is controlling Krishna in Rasa Leela. And when she leaves, and then it says Bhavakandarahe. Bhavakandarahe means that actually Krishna destroys all the material suffering. Whoever takes shelter in Krishna, then he destroys all material suffering. But actually, here at the time of Rasa Leela, when Radhika leaves, at the time of the Rasa dance, when Radhika leaves, Krishna runs after her, looking for her, suffering so much. So it is only Radhika who can destroy the suffering of separation of Krishna. Then, Muni Jana Manasa Hamsa Jaya Jaya Deva Hare. Muni Jana Manasa Hamsa. That Krishna is like the swan which is swimming in the lake of the mind of the Munis. But from all the Munis, all the Rishis, all the sages, the topmost is actually, Jayadeva Goswami is really referring to Sukadeva Goswami. Because Sukadeva Goswami is actually, he is the Ishtadev, the worshipful deity, goddess of Sukadeva, Jayadeva Goswami is Radhika. Therefore, she, of Sukadeva Goswami, the worshipful deity of Sukadeva Goswami is Srimati Radhika. Therefore, Jayadeva Goswami refers as Muni. The best Muni of all is actually Sukadeva Goswami. So, in this way, and also Sukadeva Goswami, he reveals in the Srimad Bhagavatam how the glories of Srimati Radhika, in every single verse of the Bhagavatam, it is a glorification of Srimati Radhika. Every single line, every single word, every single syllable, it's all glorifying Srimati Radhika. So for this reason, Jayadeva Goswami, when he refers to Muni Jana Manasa Hamsa, he's referring to Sukadeva Goswami. So then we continue, so many different verses and so many things that I don't know if I can say it all because Radhika's glories and qualities are unlimited. So it is said Mahababa Swarupa. Also, we can say that in this Mangala Gita, this song is specifically sang to glorify Srimati Radhika. Because at the end, Jayadeva Goswami says, Mangala Ujjvala Gitam Jayo Jayo Deva Hare Jayo Jayo Deva Hare, which is Mangala Ujjvala. This song is Ujjvala Gitam. This song is about Ujjvala. And Ujjvala, this radiant prema is only referred to Srimati Radhika. Krishna is not Ujjvala, it is Radharani. Therefore, this song is actually glorifying Srimati Radhika in every single verse. So Radhika is Mahabhava Swarupa, Mahabhava Swarupini Radhika Thakurani. She is the embodiment of Mahabhav, the highest degree of prema. She's Hladini Shakti, the potency that gives pleasure to God. Krishna can never be happy without Srimati Radhika, because she is the one that manifests the potency. Therefore, Krishna, He's creating the whole universe. He's creating all the living entities. And he says, I'm the one that gives pleasure to all the living entities. But who can give pleasure to me? So Krishna is very sad. He says, who? And only 1 second, he thinks, who can give pleasure to me? So in that moment, Srimati Radhika manifests. From one of his sides, she manifests. And this is the meaning of Radha. Ra means Rag, one of the levels of prema, of divine love. So when she manifests the embodiment of Ananda, means ecstasy, spiritual bliss. At that moment, Ra, that's the meaning of Radha, Ra. She feels so much love, so much attachment. She wants to go and run and embrace Krishna. So this is the meaning of Radha. Dha means Dhavuti. It comes from wanting to embrace Krishna. Because Krishna, he's thinking, I can give pleasure to the whole world, but to be who? So by just that desire, in 1 second, Yoga Maya, she manifests this beautiful embodiment of the Ananda Shakti, which is Srimati Radhika. And she is Radharani Radhika. She becomes the embodiment of Hladini Shakti. But Krishna has already Ananda. His body is made of Sat, Chit, and Ananda. He has Ananda. So why does he need another Ananda separately from him to taste that bliss? The reason is because Jiva Goswami explains that it's like, for example, the flute. The air is always there. I can blow and the air is there. But when it goes through the flute, then that melody and that music is created that can cause so many beautiful emotions and so much bliss, happiness or sadness according to the melody. But it's the same air there, but through the flute. So in the same way, Srimati Radhika, Krishna is Satchitananda, but when through Radhika, that Ananda, that transcendental bliss through Radhika, then Krishna can taste this highest levels of pleasure. She is the embodiment of Ananda. She is the pleasure potency of God, Radhika. Krishna can never be happy, never, without Srimati Radhika. So Mahabhava Swarupa, she Radhika Thakurani, she is embodiment. Sarva Guna Kani, she has all the qualities manifest from her. And she is Sarvakanta Shiromani. She is Krishna Kanta Shiromani. From all lovers, she is the topmost best of all, Radhika. It is said in Radha Kripa Kataksha, Ananta Koti Vishnu Loka, Ananta Koti Vishnu Loka Padmaya Mariachite Himotrija Pulomaja Virinchaja Paraprade Aparasiddhi Satpadangulina Ke Gata Karishchasi Hamam Kripa Kataksha Bhajanam. Ananta Koti Vishnu Loka, millions of universes, millions of planets are worshipping Ananta Koti Vishnu Loka. Planets in Vaikuntha, Ananta Koti Vishnu Loka are worshipping Radhika. Himotrija. Who is Himotrija? Himotrija is the daughter of the Himalaya mountain. Who is it? Parvati, the wife of Shiva, Mahadev, Shankar. She is worshipping Radhika, Radharani. Himodriya Pulomaya. Who is Pulomaya? She is the wife of Indra. Indra is the king of heaven. And she is worshipping Srimati Radhika. Himodriya Pulomaya Vichinjaya Baraprade. Who is she? This is the wife of Brahma, the goddess of knowledge, Sarasvati or Gayatri. They are worshipping Srimati Radhika. Vichinjaya. Apara siddhi satpadangulina ke. Just all knowledge, all creation, everything sparks from the tip of the toe of Srimati Radhika. Everything emanates, all perfection, mystic, all spiritual, everything, just from the tip of the toe of Srimati Radhika. Anybody who meditates just on the tip of the toe of Srimati Radhika, of the goddess, original goddess of all goddesses, then she will attain all mystic perfections. All. That person. So Radhika, Makeshwari, Kriyeshwari, Swareshwari, Sureshwari, Triveda Bharatishwari, Pramoda Sasaneshwari, Rameshwari, Kshameshwari, Pramoda Kananeshwari, Brajeshwari, Brajadipe, Shiradike Namostute, Shiradike Namostute, Shiradike Namostute, Shiradike Namostute, Shiradike Namostute. Makeshwari, Radhika, she is the goddess of Makeshwari, means of all sacrifices. Which is the topmost of all sacrifices? The sacrifice of the Jugala Milan, the meeting, the transcendental divine love of the divine couple. This is the highest of all sacrifices. Makeshwari, Kriyeshwari, she is the goddess of all actions, because she is the original of all of all energy, of all potency. She's the original potency. Makeshwari, Kriyeshwari, Swareshwari. She is the goddess of all the Swaha, 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 of all the mantras recited in the Vedas, in the Jagyas, in the sacrifices. Makeshwari, Kriyeshwari, Swareshwari, Sureshwari. She is the goddess of all the devatas. She is the original goddess. She's Parama Devata. Devi Krishna Mari Prokta Radha Para Devata. She is the supreme goddess. Because from her, when she is in Vrindavan and Krishna is doing ras, doing the transcendental dance of pure love with Radhika, she manifests herself as millions of damsels, gopis, to increase the ras, to increase the happiness of Shri Krishna. So this is Radhika. All the gopis are her expansions. Kaya Vyuha, they are expanding from Srimati Radhika. And when Krishna goes to Dwarka and marries 16,108 queens in Dwarka, she herself expands like all of those queens. And also, when Radhika, in the Vaikuntha planets, every single avatar, every single form of Vishnu, Narayan that exists, every single one, has a consort which is Lakshmi. There are millions of Lakshmis, goddesses of fortune, and they're all expansions of Srimati Radhika. So she is Parama Devata, supreme goddess. Makeshwari, Kriyeshwari, Swareshwari, Sureshwari. She is the supreme Parama Devata, Deva. Triveda Bharatishwari, she is the all knowledge of the three Vedas. Comes from her. Triveda Bharatishwari, of all the words spoken. She is Radhika. She is the goddess of all this. Triveda Bharatishwari Pramoda, of all the words spoken in the Vedas. Pramoda Triveda Bharatishwari Pramoda Kshaneshwari. She is the one who gives enforcement in following the rules and regulations, the Dharma. She is the enforcement. Triveda Bharatishwari. Then she says, very beautiful, Rameshwari, which is Radhika, she is the goddess of Lord Ram, because she is Sita. They are her expansions. Triveda Rameshwari Kshameshwari, she is the goddess of forgiveness. She forgives everything. There's never any mood of revenge or violence or feeling like angry. No. She's compassion, Karunamayi, full of compassion. Triveda Bharat Rameshwari Kshameshwari Pramoda Kananeshwari. This is the best. Pramoda Kananeshwari. She is the goddess of the beautiful, exuberant, exquisite forests of Braja, in the Kunjas, where she eternally lives. Ashoka Vriksha Balari Vitana Manda Pashtite. Her eternal home is in the forest of Braj, within the trees which connect. Two trees, Ashoka trees, and then all the Ashoka Vriksha Balari, and all the vines that fall, the houses made of trees and entwined creepers. She is the goddess. This is her real original home. Her original home are the kunjas, are the groves, the transcendental groves of Vrindavan. So, Rameshwari, Kshameshwari, Pramoda Kananeshwari, Brajeshwari. Oh, Brajeshwari. She is the owner, the master. She is the goddess supreme of Braja, Brajeshwari, Brajadipe. She's the owner of Braja. And this is why I can't give classes. She is the owner. She is the owner of Braja. Brajeshwari, Brajadipe. She's the queen of Braja. The queen and the ruler of Braja. Shiradike Namostute. I offer my obeisances to this Srimati Radhika. All the description, Radhika Kataksha, so beautiful. When I first came to Gurudev, he gave his mercy, means you start to learn this song by heart, every word, every syllable. This is mercy, Guru Kripa. Because this, with only one verse, you can attain all perfections. One time in Radhastami, Srila Gurudev would say, why? What is the meaning of Ashesha Haba Baba Tira Hira Hara Bushite Prabhuta Shata Kumba Kumba Kumi Kumba Shustani Prashasta Mandya Sachurna Puna Sokya Sagare Katha Karishjasihamam Kripa Kataksha Bhajanam. What is the meaning? If people think that Radhika wears a necklace of diamonds, they have not done ever bhajan. And he quoted those two verses, and those are the verses that I was for months and months meditating upon, that I understood how powerful is Gurudev. He controls his disciple. He inspires them what they should read, what they should study. This is the most powerful Stava Raja. He's the king of all stavas. Sri Radha Kripa Kataksha Stava Raja. Srila Gurudev would say that actually whoever thinks, it says that it is written, it is Shiva, Shankar, Mahadev speaking to Parvati. But Gurudev said that a person that actually understands the language of Rupa Goswami would understand it is Rupa Goswami who wrote and manifested it, because he realized it. So in this way, the language, for example, two verses that are completely the language of Rupa Goswami, like Madon Madati Yovane Pramodamana Mandite Priyanuraga Ranjite Kaladila Sapandite Ananya Danya Kunjara Jakama Kerikavide Kadakaris Jasiyama Kripa Katakshabajanam Ashesha Haba Bhavadira. So here it says, these are actually, Rupa Goswami had to invent a language. He had to describe the levels of prema. What is prem, sneha, man, pranaya? What are anubhavs? What are bibhavs? What are sattvic bhavs? What are bhav alankars? All these things, he had to describe and invent a language for us to understand what is Braj. What is Braj? The highest transcendental planet in the universe, in the spiritual realms. The highest. So this language, for example, Madon Madati Yovani. This is the language of Rupa Goswami. Madan, or Madon Madati Yovani Pramoda Mana. Mana is one of the meanings of prema when Radhika is angry with Krishna. So this is Rupa Goswami's language. So it says, Ashesha Haba Bhavadira Hirahara Bhushite. Very beautiful. Ashesha Bhava Hava Ashesha Hava Bhavadira Hirahara Bhushite. Gurudev explains that this Ashesha Hava Bhavadira Hirahara Bhushite, that Hira, Radhika wears like a necklace of diamonds. This is a translation, but the real meaning is the Radhika. And the next line says, it says, Ashesha Hava Bhavadira Hirahara Bhushite Prabhuta Shata Kumbha Kumbha Shustani. Kumbha Shustani is Radhika's breasts. They are like the globes, golden globes of a temple, or also like the ear globes, like the ear globes of an elephant. So Radhika's breasts are like, and Kumbha. Again, Kumbha. What is the meaning? Is that where Radhika walks, this has like a hypnotizing effect in Krishna. This Kumbha. And he becomes hypnotized when he sees her walking, bouncing. But she has this feminine, in her feminine nature, she has this like a necklace of diamonds, which is protecting her feminine nature. But those are not real diamonds. It's not a real necklace. It is her bhavs, her spiritual emotions. Ashesha Haba, Ashesha means unlimited moods, which Haba, Bhava, Dhira, Hira, Ashesha Haba, Bhava, Dhira. These are all descriptions of Anubhavs of Srimati Radhika. One is Kanti also. And by these moods, she protects herself from Krishna. So this mood, Ashesha Haba Bhavadira Hirahara Bhushite, is compared to a necklace of diamonds. So what is the characteristic of a diamond? When you take a diamond, it's very hard. You cannot break it. So that is her bhavs, her moods are so deep. Nobody can break them. Nobody can break her moods. No one. Not even Krishna cannot break him. Only Rupa Manjari, she will say, okay, Radhika, give up your mind, give up your anger. So this is the real meaning of Ashesha Hava Bhavadira. The diamond, the necklace of diamonds. She's protected by her moods, by her bhavs. And also the quality of the diamond is that if there's a color that reflects on the diamond, it will manifest a whole gamma, rainbow, a spectrum of green colors. If there's a green coming to the diamond, it'll reflect hundreds of different greens, like a rainbow of greens. So in the same way, Srimati Radhika, whenever Krishna comes close to her, and he has one particular bhav, some desire, some bhav, so Radhika will reflect to that bhav a whole spectrum of different bhavs and moods only to please Krishna. Therefore, she is Radhika. Radhika means the best of all worshippers. Nobody can worship, nobody can serve better Krishna than Srimati Radhika. At the time of Rasa Leela, for example, this beautiful verse. One time I was in Delhi, Gaudiya-bhakti-ras, and it was Radhastami, or close to be. And Gurudev, just with one glance, then he inspired which verses to learn. Gurudev never had to come and say, learn this. He inspired. He gave the verse, learn this verse. And one was Devi Krishna Mai Prokta Radha Para Devata Sarva Lakshmai Sarva Kanta Shiromani. So this is very beautiful because it says Devi Krishna Mai Prokta Radhika Para Devata. But the best of all worshippers, Sarva Kanta Mai. And then it says Sarva Kanti. Sarvakanti Samohini Para. Sarvakanti Samohini Para. Which means that Radhika, what is Sarvakanti? All the desires of Krishna. Sarvakanti. All the desires of Krishna. But it means that she is the only one, Radhika, who can actually fulfill all the desires of Krishna. This is the meaning of Sarvakanti. Gurudev says, at the time of Rasa Leela, when everybody's dancing in Rasa Leela, there's millions of gopis. But then Radhika leaves. And Krishna, with millions of the most beautiful and the most qualified gopis, the most beautiful, most qualified, he says, no, I cannot be here without Radhika. Because she's Hladini Shakti, she's the original. She's the original source of all Ananda, bliss, ecstasy, pleasure, potency of God. Without her, even if there are millions of gopis, Krishna's not happy. So has to run after. Who has to run immediately after? Krishna is weeping. So Radhika, she then fulfills all of Krishna's desires. It's only her that was taken to that secluded place in Rasa Leela when Krishna runs after her and he's crying. How are Goswami, how are Parampara, Guru Parampara, how they're doing bhajan? Gaura Kishore Das Babaji, he's saying, Kotava Prema Mai Radhe Radhe. He's crying here and there. Oh, Radhe, where are you? Radhe, Radhe, where are you? Are you here? Are you there? Are you in Banshivat? Are you in Radhakunda? Oh, Kotava. This is Krishna. Crying and crying. Oh, Radhika, where are you? Where are you? Krishna's crying and crying. Oh, Srimati Radhika, where are you? Where are you? And finally, Radhika says, okay, I will give you my darshan. So she appears because one Manjari is saying, she's suffering too much, give him your darshan. So then Radhika goes and gives darshan to Krishna. Krishna was crying under a tamarind tree, Imlitala, and he's doing mantra meditation. Radha, 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 oh Radha, Radha, crying, crying, crying. So much meditation that he becomes absorbed and transforms himself in golden color in the body complexion of Srimati Radhika, because he becomes so absorbed in meditation. Samadhi becomes one with the deity of worship. And at that time, okay, Radhika is merciful. She comes and gives mercy to Krishna. And Krishna falls at her feet. He falls at her feet and starts crying, please forgive me, please forgive me, please forgive me. And he gives his peacock feather at the feet of Radhika. He gives his flute at the feet of Radhika. Even then, still Krishna is not fully happy. Radhika is not fully convinced. Radharani, she's not fully convinced. Not ready to forgive him so easily. So now, with his tears, he is washing Srimati Radhika's lotus feet. At that time, he tells her, Na parehyam niravarya samjira sasadu kripa vibhuja jusapi jamabajan durgela shinkala sambrisa tadvat pratyatu sadhana. Oh, my dear Radhika, I cannot repay you. Oh, Radhika, I cannot repay you. Even if I had a life as long as the demigods, that they live thousands of millions of years, I cannot repay you because you have left everything. Sambrisa, you have broken the chains of family life, the shackles. You have broke them, which is so difficult to give up. But you gave up your family, your reputation. You gave up even Dharma. The Dharma which is established in the Vedas. Radhika and the gopis left this. They left this. Radhika, it is said, Uda, he tells, Asamaha charanarenu samprindavana kimapi gulma sadhanam jadustayam swajana aryapatam hitva pejur govinda padavin shutivi bimridya. He's saying, Swajana Aryapatam. Aryapatam means you have left Dharma. You've actually left the Dharma established in the Vedic culture. Aryapatam. You left this. So Krishna is telling her at her feet, crying, putting his flute. With Krishna without a flute cannot do anything in Braja. He is like handicapped without the flute. With one flute he calls the cowboys, with one flute he calls the cows, with one flute he calls all the gopis. Now he has no flute. He puts it at the feet of Radhika. His most precious peacock, he puts it at her feet. And he says, I cannot repay your Srimati Radhika, even if I can live one life as long as the demigods. I cannot repay you, Srimati Radhika. Why? Because you have broken the shackles of family life, left father, mother, mother-in-law, superiors, children. The gopis have done this. And Radhika, so he says, I cannot repay you. I'm indebted to you. In the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna he promises, in the same way that my devotee serves me and surrenders to me, I promise to reciprocate in the same manner. But now he's saying, Na pareham, I cannot repay you. Imagine the level of debt that Krishna has, that he says, I cannot repay. This is beyond my reciprocation, because their love is so high. Srimati Radhika is especially number one from all the gopis, superior to all. And he says, please allow that the way that I can pay you back a little bit at least, is that your glories, your supreme identity as the supreme goddess and servant and the most beloved lover of mine, that your glories will be eternally manifested throughout the ages, throughout the universe, throughout eternity. The way that you will be glorified as the highest and best of all devotees of God, of Krishna. This is the only way I can think a little bit that I can repay you. So in this way, Srimati Radhika, Krishna's indebted with her. She's the favorite. Where does it say? In the Bhagavatam. The Bhagavatam is the essence of all the scriptures. The Vedas is very great, very powerful, but the Srimad Bhagavatam was not something that he wrote. Vyasadeva, it manifested in his heart. It was self-manifested by his Guru Narad Muni. So he realized the topmost of all is Srimati Radhika. At the time of Rasa Leela, when they're dancing and Radhika leaves, then Krishna runs behind her and tries to look, where's Radhika, where's Radhika? He cannot be happy without Srimati Radhika. So then all the gopis start looking for Krishna everywhere. And finally they find the footsteps. They find the footsteps of Krishna, the footprints on the soil. Oh, we found! Because they're like detectives. Where is Krishna? Where is Krishna? And finally, like with a magnifying glass, they're looking for all the clues. Where is Krishna? like a detective looking for clues of a thief. All the gopis are searching and they find the footprints of Krishna. And next to those footprints are the footprints of Srimati Radhika. And therefore, Shukadeva Goswami, he says, Anya naraditu nunam bhagavam harimishvara yano vihaya govinda pritoyam anayatrahat. He says, Anya naraditu nunam bhagavam harimishvara yano vihaya govinda pritoyam anayatrahat. This is the verse, the most important verse of Bhagavatam. Why? Because here, very beautifully, it is the only place that Sukadeva Goswami directly tells the name of Srimati Radhika. He says, Anya Araditu. She is the best worshipper of all the gopis, of all the concerts of God. She is the best. She is the highest, the best. Anya Naraditu Nunam Bhagavam Harimishvara. Why? Because he has left them all. He left them all to go and be in a very secret and secluded grove of flowers only with her. Sukadeva Goswami says, this verse, Anya Naraditunam, she is the one that has pleased more. She has given more happiness to Krishna. Therefore, he has taken her alone. So this is Srimati Radhika. And it's such a beautiful, this Radharani is, this whole Radha-kripa-kataksha is so powerful. So she is the one, Radhika. Radhika means she is the best worshipper. She's the best worshipper. She's the one that's always serving, the best worshipper of Krishna. But Srila Gurudev explains that actually Krishna is always serving Radhika. He is the one that is serving her. He serves her always because he is in complete submission to her. This is actually Radha and Krishna. When Krishna serves Radha, this is Radha and Krishna. When Radha serves Krishna, this is Lakshmi Narayan. So in this beautiful Radha-kripa-kataksha, Munindra Vrinda Bandite Triloka Shakaharini Prasana Bhakta Pankajani Kunja Pupilasini Brajendra Vanunandini Brajendra Sunu Sangate Kadakarish Jasiyamam Kripa Kataksha Bhajanam. It is actually praying for Manjari Bhav. Gurudev explains Kadakarish Jasiyaman Kripa Kataksha Bhajanam. It's praying Kripa Kataksha. When will I have the sidelong glance? Sidelong. This sidelong glance is only given to the Manjaris, not to the Sakis, not Lalita, Vishaka, Tungavita, no, to the Manjaris only. Therefore, it's praying for sidelong glance. Muninda Brinda, all the rishis, all the munis are always praying to Srimati Radhika. All. In Radharasa Sudanidhi, Prabhudananda Saraswati Thakuri Senu, Brahma Ruda Sukanara Vishwamukher, Alaksitara Sasa Purusasya Tasya Swadhyo Vashi Karna Churnam Ananta Shaktim Tam Radhika Ananta Shaktim Tam Radhika Anushmarami Tam Radhika Parichara Anushmarami. I remember the lotus feet of Radhika. That Brahma, Ruda, Shiva, Brahma, Ruda, Shukadeva Goswami, Brahma, Ruda, Shuka, Narada Muni, Vishma, all the great sages, they can't really attain Krishna. It's very hard to have Krishna, to have even his darshan. Yuk Brahmadudasunara, Alakshitana Sahasa Purusasya Tasya. They cannot get Krishna, but Radhika's the powder, the dust of her lotus feet. It's so powerful. Just the dust of her lotus feet is so powerful that it brings Krishna completely under control. It's completely Chuna, Ananta Shakti, unlimited potency, unlimited power. This is how powerful is Srimati Radhika. That no one can actually attain Krishna but Radhika. So Munindra Vrindavandite, Triloka Shoka Harini, she removes the suffering of all the worlds. So powerful, just chanting Radhe Radhe. Anybody sad or depressed, just chant Radhe 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 Radhe. 10 minutes, 50, everything immediately like magically disappears. This is the power of Radha Nam. Radha Nama Parama Sukadari. It's the highest of all. So Munindra Vrindavandite, all the Munis are giving praise, all. They're praying, all the goddesses, like Ananta Kote Vishnu Loka Padmayat Mayarchite, Himodrija Pulomaya Virinchaya, all the wife of Shiva, Parvati, the wife of Indra, the wife of Brahma, all the goddesses that exist. Saraswati, Gayatri, they're all praying and praying, please give me a blessing, a benediction. Right? Because the original source of all devatas, all devatas. And even, so it says, Munindra Vrindavandite Triloka Shokali, Prasanna Bhakta, her face is so beautiful, it shines. Prasanna, it's like a lotus flower, very beautiful. All the petals, the cheeks, the forehead, here, the eyes, the nose, everything's like lotus petal. Nikunja Bhubilashini. Always she is eternally in the kunjas of Vrindavan, enjoying ras. Enjoying ras with Krishna. And this is our only aspiration. We should only aspire, how can I taste this ras? Every day one drop of this ras. This Prem Ras, this is what Mahaprabhu came to give. Gurudev, just recently a friend of mine sent me something that Gurudev said 1% from millions, from 1,000, 1% will taste this Gopi Bhav. Why? Because there's no desire for it. There's no other qualification. There's no qualification like I have to be rich or I have to have all knowledge or I have to live here and there. No. It is only I want. Like desperately, I want Gopi Bhav, I want to taste this Madhura Ras. This is the only qualification. But we don't want it. That's the thing. So, she is always in the kunjas of Braj, especially in Radhakunda. Radhakunda, very beautiful. In the middle of Radhakunda, there's like a little temple with stairs full of jewels. And every day, Guru Sak is there. He is preparing everything for Radha and Krishna to meet. The beautiful asana where Radha Krishna will sit, and they're always singing, the gopis are singing. One time all the gopis were singing, Gurudev said, one time all the gopis are singing this Radha Kripa Kataksha. All the gopis are singing this Radha Kripa Kataksha to glorify Radharani. And then but they say, but I want something to glorify Srimati Radhika. So then they start singing. Sucharu Bhaktra Mandalam Sukarna Ratna Kundalam. For the pleasure of Krishna. So then all this lila, everything manifests in Radhakunda, in the center, in this beautiful temple with so many creepers and trees that are big branches that go on top. All this is where we should pray. Oh Gurudev, when will I be able to see this? When will you give me a place to live? For example, it is said Namashastam manumapi sachiputra matra swarupam rupam tasya grajanurupurim maturim goshtavatim. Gurudev, he's so merciful. He has given me the highest conception of the name, of what is the meaning of Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. He has given me this, Gurudev. And he has given me what also? Namashastam manumapi. And he has given Mathura, Goshtavatim. He has let me stay in the Goshta in Brajadam. And Radha Kundam. He has given me Radha Kunda and Girivaram. And also Giridhari, Giriraj Govardhan. A place to live there. Not externally with this body, but in the heart. And only when this manifests, then we can do seva. Gurudev, this is the only reason why Srila Gurudev is in this world. The only reason why Guru and Vaishnavas are in this world. So, these verses are so beautiful. Anangaranga mangala prasanga bhangura brubam savibramansa sambraman digantabana patane. All this beautiful, beautiful. Tadit suvarna champaka pradipta gaura vigrahe. Radhika's feet also. Ashoka briksha balari vitaramanda patsite pravala bala palava pravarun angry. Radhika's feet are so soft, so soft. They're like freshly sprouts, mango sprouts, very soft. This is how soft Radhika's feet are. Even when she's lying in a bed of flowers, all the flowers are so soft. The stems of the little flower can bruise her body. This is how soft Radhika's body is. And then they're red, like the coral, like the sunrise. This is the color of Srimati Radhika's feet. Srila Gurudev, one time we were in Badger and he came out of a class and I said, Srila Gurudev, you once told a long time ago that at the time of the Bhakti at the beach, the creeper, there's a creeper of this creeper of devotion, transcendental devotion, and the fruit is prema. But this creeper, when it starts growing, we should be careful that next to it can be growing something which is not actually favorable. It's like a bad, I don't know how you say in English, yerba mala, and it grows next to it, but it looks like it, but it's not. And you should be careful because it can suffocate this creeper. And he said it was Vaidhi Bhakti. He said, this is Vaidhi Bhakti. So then I told him this time, it was years before. So then I said, Gurudev, because now he was talking that there are different things that cannot be favorable for this creeper of Bhakti. So I said, you said this, and he said, yes, and you will have to give up Sakya Bhav, the mood of Sakya, of friendship. You will have to give up Vatsalya Bhav, the mood of parental mood, like a father and a mother. You will have to give up, he said, even Madhurya Bhav. He said, like, you will have to give up like the Sakis, in the mood of like conjugal love, the gopis. He said, you have to give up even wanting to be a Saki, like Lalita Vishaka, and you will only pray to Rupa Manjari, only want to serve like Rupa Manjari. And he's so powerful. Then immediately after that, when I left, immediately he gave this boom, inspiration in the heart to learn this particular verse from Vilapa Sumanjali, which is, oh my God, what is it? Chirupa Manjari Padarchita Pada Padma Gostendra Nandana Bhupjorjita Mashtakaya Hamoda Takaraka Gori Padaravindam Pres Padaravindam Sambar Hanani Sanakeshtana Kim Karishya. He immediately gave me this mood, learn this verse. And it's very beautiful because it says, Rupa Goswami is praying at the lotus feet of of Srimati Radhika, Raghunath Das Goswami. Raghunath Das Goswami is praying at the lotus feet of Rupa Manjari. He is saying, "Oh Rupa Manjari, when Krishna is laying down and Radhika has her head on his lap and she is lying down in the kunjas resting after enjoying so much ras, then Rupa Manjari is massaging the feet of Srimati Radhika. So Raghunath Das Goswami is praying, when will you call me and give me the remnants of this service? And you will tell me come and you will let me massage her feet. Because Radhika is laying down with the head on the lap of Krishna and Radhika and Rupa Manjari is massaging her feet. When will you call me and give me the remnants of this service? And you will fan Srimati Radhika. So in this way, Srila Gurudev explained, this way we should pray. When will I be able to serve? Like this. So, beautiful. Tadit Suvarna Champaka Pradipta Gaura Vigrahe. That Radhika's Tadit Suvarna, her body is golden. It's like the gold. It's like the lightning. It's so bright. It's like Tadit Suvarna Champak, and like this champak flower. It's so golden. Tadit Suvarna Champaka Pradipta Gaura Vigrahe. Mukha Prava Parasta Koti. And her face shines like millions of autumn full moons. This is the splendor of Radhika's face. Tadit Suvarna Champaka Pradipta Gaura Vigrahe Mukha Prava Parasta Koti Sharadendu Mandali. Vichitra Chitra Sancharat. Her eyes, Radhika's eyes are always moving, restless, like the chakara bird. Like the chakara bird, always moving. This is Radhika's description. Oh, Kadakarisya Siyamam Kripa Kataksha Bhajanam. When will I be able to serve? When will she give me a sidelong glance and call me, come, serve? This is only Manjari Bhav, praying for being an exclusive, one-pointed maidservant of Srimati Radhika. Srila Gurudev always explained how, really, which is the best song of Bhaktivinoda Thakur? He says, Rishabhanu Sutta Charana Sevane Hoi Boje Palyadasi Shri Radhara Shuka Satata Sadane Rohipwami Prayasi Shri Radhara Shuka Satata Sadane Rohipwami Prayasi Rishabhanu Sutta Charana Sevane. This is what we pray. How can I become Radhika's Palyadasi? Rishabh, serving the lotus feet of the daughter of Rishabhanu Maharaj. I want to become a Palyadasi. Palyadasi. Everybody, yes, Palyadasi. Radhika Palyadasi. But what is Palya? Pala. She's protecting us. We're servants of Radhika, but she's our protector. We are a servant which is completely protected and loved, with so much love, but protection. She's protecting us. Many people go to Srila Gurudev and ask, Gurudev, I want at our time, I want a Nrsimha Kavacha because I need protection. The neck. And can you give me a Nrsimha Kavacha, Srila Gurudev? Protection for what? No, because of the dangers or this and that. And Srila Gurudev said, why don't you use a Lalita Kavacha instead? Because Lalita, she is so angry that Krishna becomes so afraid. Krishna is so afraid of Lalita Devi, so afraid that in the Lalitastakam it is said, what is that verse? Radhama Bivraja Kudekitanarma Jena Kutang Manogapi Vilokya Vilohitakshin Tam Bhagbangi Vishamachinena Vilaja Jantim Devim Gunaishu Lalitam Lalitam Namami. So then it says that Radhika, Lalita, she's so angry, that if she hears any word that is being used to abuse Radhika or sarcastic, her eyes become red. She's so angry. And she starts bhangivis, like waves, one after the other. She starts throwing words and attacking Krishna. And Krishna becomes so afraid, he shakes. She is pragalpa, very strong, very hard she speaks. And in this way she controls Radha Krishna Lalita Devi. So in this way, Krishna is fearing so much Radhika. So Gurudev says, if you're really afraid, if you want protection, you should use the Lalita Kavacha. No Nrsimha Kavacha. This is Gurudev's Rasikacharya, Braj mood completely, only absorbed in Braj. In Braj, imagine why we want a lion. Imagine a lion coming to Braja. Everybody, all the gopis will be scared. No, we don't need this. We need the protection of Lalita Shaki and of all the Manjari. So, all the gopis. So therefore, Gurudev, he is saying, we should be Vrishavano Sutta Charana Sevane Huibui. Palyadasi. Palyadasi means a very loved, I can't see very well with my glasses, but what we pray? That is what we pray. How can we become a Palyadasa Srimati Radhika? What does Palyadasa mean? Palyadasa means Palya means protected, like Pala. Pala means protection. So people are saying, oh, we want a Nrsimha Kavacha, or there were stones for protection from the planets. Gurudev says, anybody who wears a Kavacha or stones for planets are not my disciples. Means they don't have faith in the power of Nam. Harinam is directly Radha Krishna. Krishna is the source of all incarnations. So why would we pray to an incarnation of Krishna when we can directly connect with Krishna? The Nam is directly Radha Krishna. So Radhika Palyadasi, Srila Gurudev explains that Palya means protected. It means that we pray to be a servant, but not like the servants in India that they're beating them all the time and there's no love. No. The servants that are full of love for Srimati Radhika. And Radhika loves them more than her own life. Rupa Manjari. And because they know so much the heart of Radhika, they're one with the heart of Radhika. One. And that is Tadatmika. Whatever Radhika is feeling, they are feeling it completely because they're one with her heart. So, Palya means that they're so protected. Radhika gives them so much protection. They're so much under the care and protection of Radharani. This is our only goal in life. So why would we pray for any other incarnation or avatar of God to protect us? If the meaning of Palyadasi means I want to be a servant of Radharani which is completely under her protection. This is Radhika Palyadasi. No Nrsimha Kavacha. So going to Radha Kripa Kataksha, this beautiful song, prayer. It says also, there were two verses that Gurudev spoke one time in one Radhastami. He was saying, also he mentioned this Nitamba Vimbalamba Mana Pushpame Kalagune Prashastaratna Kinkini Kalapya Madhya Manjali Karindra Shunya Dandika Baroha Soba Koroke Kadakaris Jasiyamam Kripa Kataksha Pajanam, which says Nitamba. Radhika wears a belt which is made with bells and also with flowers and gems. But this belt is not an ordinary belt. It is made of prema. Srila Gurudev explains it's made directly of prema, transcendental love. So when Radha Krishna are doing ras, they're dancing and doing ras, these bells increase to the highest degree, this prem ras, the highest. So without the presence of this belt, this mekala, then Krishna cannot feel 100% topmost, topmost 100% happiness and satisfaction. So Radhika is dancing with Krishna, and she's feeling that Krishna cannot reach to the highest, topmost levels of happiness. And she realizes that she forgot her mekhala, her belt, in another kunja. So only with one glance, she glances at Rati Manjari. And she immediately goes to the kunja to look for it. When she gets there, there is the belt, and it's very sad. You know, the flowers have wilted. They're very sad. And she's going to take, and they say, no, we're not going. And they're so sad. Radhika left us here. She doesn't love us. We're not important for her. She just forgot us here. No. And Rati Manjari says, no, my dear Mekhala, it is actually Radhika who sent me. She sent me here, and she says, you should come. You should come and bring it. You should bring this belt. Without this Mekhala, I cannot make Krishna fully happy, 100% to the highest level of happiness when we're doing ras. So please, when we're dancing. So then the flowers bloomed of happiness. Okay, we'll go. So she takes the mekhala and goes back. And then very quickly, she's dancing with Krishna, but nobody can know that her mekhala was lost. Otherwise, all the sakis start to make fun and make jokes. And she doesn't like that at all. She's so tender, Radhika, that if any gopi, the sakis, make fun of her, she's so shy, she will die. So very expertly, in 1 second, Rati Manjari comes. And she's worried, Radharani, because she sees that Rupa Manjari saw this also. But Rupa Manjari is looking at Radhika, always fixed. She never takes off her eyes, Radhika. Never. Never, never, never. So she knows, she understood what had happened. So in that moment, what happened is that she says, don't worry, I know, but nobody else will know. So in 1 instant, Rati Manjari goes and puts the belt on Radhika's waist. So quickly, nobody noticed at all. And she continues to dance and do rasa. So this is the Mekhala of Srimati Radhika. Very beautiful. All these descriptions describing Madon Madati Yovane, Madon Madati Yovane Pramoda Mana Mandite, Priyanuraga Ranjite, Kalavilasa Pandite. Very high class verse. My God. Madon, Madan. This is a level of Prem. Prem Sehama Pranaya Raga Anurag Bhav. Then it comes Modan, then Madan. This is levels of highest degree of Mahabhav. So Madon Madati Yovani. She's completely intoxicated, Madan. In this case, Madan is intoxicated. She's intoxicated with Madan Madati Yovani, with a beautiful, wonderful youth. Her youth is so astonishing that she herself becomes intoxicated by this beauty of her youth. Madon Madati Yovane Pramoda Mana Mandite. Her man, when she's angry, a little bit jealous, this man, this jealousy of anger of Krishna, this gives so much pleasure. Pramoda Mana Mandite. Priya, she's adorned with this. Priyanuraga Ranjite. She gives Ranjit, she gives pleasure, so much pleasure too. She experienced so much pleasure from tasting the love of her beloved Krishna. Priyanuraga Ranjit. Kala Vilasa Pandite. She's Kala. She is from all the art. She's expert. Kala Vilasa, from the pastimes. Beautiful. Kala Vilasa Pandit. Pandit, she's a Pandit. She's like a sage in the arts of divine love. Kala Vilasa Pandit. Madon Madati Yovane Pramodamana Mandite Priyanuraga Ranjite Kala Vilasa Pandit Ananya Danya Kunjaraja. In the beautiful, exquisite groves of Braja. She is Kama Kobide. Come. She is the most expert and learned in the art of giving pleasure, of desire for Krishna. So this is Radhika. How high is this? So high, so high. Mrinalla bala balari tarangaranga. Her arms are like stems of lotus flowers that are dancing in a lake. So her arms are like the stems of the lotus flowers which are dancing in the lake. Mrinalla bala balari taranga, in the waves of the lake. Taranga ranga dorlate. La tagra lasya nola nila. Lochanava lokane. And the creepers, her eyes, blue eyes, which are moving, they are like the creepers that are moving with the wind. This is like her eyes. La tagra lasya lola nila lochana balok. Lalang lulang milang manotya. And when she meets with Krishna, he becomes completely surrendered to her, completely in full submission. When will I ever have your merciful silent glance? Suvarna malikanchita tireka kampu kantageti sutra mangaliguna tiratna tiptititi. It means her neck is so beautiful, it's like a conch with 3 lines. Her neck is like a conch with 3 lines. Suvarna malikanchita tireka kampukanta sutra mangaliguna. And she wears this necklace that is called Mangala Sutra or Trisutra. This Mangala Sutra, Sutta Mangala, which is the necklace that the married women always use, is called Mangala Sutra. Or Suvarna malikanchita tireka kampukanti sutra mangaliguna. Mangaliguna, very auspicious. Mangala Sutra, it's also called Mangala Sutra. And this necklace, and it's golden, and it has 3 jewels, which represent the different types of gopis. Mangala, Sutra Mangala, Tiratna, Dipti, 3 ratnas, 3 jewels. Salola nila kuntala. Salola nila kuntala prasuna guchagumpite. She wears a braid, very beautiful, which is bluish. This bluish braid is always decorated with beautiful flowers. And at the very end of the braid, there's like a bouquet of a lotus and other similar flowers. And all her braid is like, I forgot the word, is like knitted. Her braid is knitted with different garlands of flowers, and at the end it's like a bouquet of flowers. Very beautiful, and swings here and there as she walks. Very beautiful. The description of this song is so powerful. With one song, we could actually meditate whole year, with one verse, with one line, whole year. Then it says, Nitamba Vimba, I already explained this one. Nitamba Vimba Lamba Mara Pushpa Me Kalavune Prashasta Ratna Kinkini Kalapya Maria Manjali Karindra Shunda Dandika. She walks like an intoxicated elephant. This is Krishna, but Radhika, her thighs reduce in size, just like the trunk of an elephant. So her thighs are compared to the trunk of an elephant. And also it is compared to like banana trees. Her thighs are very big, very small waist. Where she wears her mekhala is very small waist, very big hips. So in this way, very beautifully, it is described, all the body of Srimati Radhika. Then it is said, Ananta Koti Ananga Anangaranga Mangala Prasanga Bhangura Gruba. No, it is said, this one that about the ankle bells. After is Itamba Vimbalamba Mana Pushpame Kalagana Prashastratna Kinkini Kalapi Madam Karindu Sundatandika Paroso Vakoroke Kata Karishasiaman Kripa Katakshavan Ane Kamantranada Manju Nupurara Vaskalat Samaja Raja Hamsa Vashat Mikravatu. It's so beautiful, my God. That Radhika wears this ankle bells, golden, that ring. She's experiencing so much prem that they're like ringing in ecstasy. They're like permanently in sattvic bhavs ringing. The ankle bells of Radhika. But from her ankle bells, all the mantras are born. The Vedic mantras. The origin of all these Vedic mantras are actually the ringing of Radhika's ankle bells. Anangamangaranga is very beautiful. It says, Anankamantranada Nupura is ankle bell. Nupura Ravaskalat Samaja Raja Hamsa Vamsa Nikravati Guruvai. Very beautiful. The sound of her ankle bells are like all these swans in the water, the garbling of the water of very aristocratic royal swans. This is the sound of Radhika's ankle bells. And then Samaja Raja Hamsa Vamsa Nikravati Gora Bilola Hema Balari Bidam Vicharu Chankrame. And also her walking is so beautiful. The way she walks, that it puts into shame. It actually puts into shame. It is actually put into shame the beautiful walking of Srimati Radhika puts into shame the movement of a creeper, a golden creeper, how it moves. It puts into shame because her walking is so beautiful. Then it says, Ananta Koti Vishnu Loka Namnapat Mayarjite, which I described so beautiful. That all the planets, the Vishnu, the Kunta planets, they all worship Radhika. Therefore, she's Parama Devata, the supreme goddess of all. I already came to that verse. Makeshwari, Kriyashwari, all this description, very beautiful. And then Mahababa Swarupini Radhika Thakur, she's the embodiment of the highest degree of prema. And I think this is all. I've said too much. I was going to speak 1 hour. I thought all the Lakshmis are her expansions. Everything comes from her. Krishna can never ever be happy without Srimati Radhika. She's the source of all pleasure for Krishna. So I want to finish here. Radhe Radhe. Thank you very much for allowing me to purify my heart, remembering Srila Gurudev's Harikatha and remembering Srimati Radhika in this very special day of Radhashtami. We used to have such beautiful celebrations with Gurudev every year. Srila Gurudev would have arrange this beautiful chariots, and there would go Radha and Krishna, and sometimes Gurudev also, he would sit in the chariot. And one time I was actually dancing there with one friend, Tungi, and the next day Gurudev chastised me. He said, "Oh, I heard that you were dancing," and I said, "Ha ha, ha ha ha," and he was so angry at me. And I understood. After that, I didn't dance for a very long time because I understood he wanted us to be very sober, not so much crazy here and there. But anyway, the beautiful programs there were that thousands of thousands, hundreds of thousands, I don't know if hundreds, thousands of thousands of people would come every day in this day, Radhashtami, to have prasadam that was distributed for thousands of people, and also beautiful plays were being performed, and beautiful kirtans, Brajavasi. I see more and more like the mood of Gurudev is being a little bit like lost. But I remember Srila Gurudev, he would love to sit and see the Brajavasis girls, very young girls. Dancing should be younger than 15 years old. And they would dance Brajavasi music. And with the dress and like Brajavasi, but professional little girls dancing, and he would love that. But whenever there was dancing of Orissa, like Orissa style dancing, I remember every time Srila Gurudev would get up and leave. So this is something to remember, that the mood of Srila Gurudev, he liked everything which is completely Brijvasi style. So in this way, I'm just praying to Srila Gurudev that hopefully one drop of his mood, of his bhakti, of his prema, of his prem ras that he has in his heart, that one little drop I can taste something one day, and that I could actually please him, that I can be what he wants me to be, which is a preacher, that to repeat all his harikatha, that I can be qualified so that I can repeat all his words, all his teachings in a very, very sober way. I pray Gurudev to give me this so that I can broadcast this amazing harikatha and this amazing teachings that he gave us for so many years. It's like decades. He gave the most extraordinary harikatha that you could ever imagine in the planet that has ever been spoken. So we will be misers if we don't try to repeat it and convey to others. So thank you so much for everything. Srila Gurudev ki jai, Shri Radharani ki jai. I pray to Shri Radhika that one day may I have a little drop of her mercy so that I can actually serve her, so that I can understand her glories, so that I can understand really what is to be a Radhika Palyadasi, what I can be a really protected and beloved servant of hers. I pray, like Gurudev said, you should pray these songs. You should do that. You should pray these songs. Vrishavanu Sutta, Charana Sevane Hoiboye Palyadasi. Also, for example, Palyadasi Gori Lalita Sundari. All the songs of Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Dekite, Dekite, Bulidobak. All these songs, prayers like, when will I be able to enter into that transcendental Dham? When will I see my body? My Sita Deha, Gopi Pa. These are the prayers that we have to have. And when would I Braje Gopi Pa, Bhoi Veswaba, Chitananda Moy, all this, when will I see the Chinmoy, the Brindavana, Chintamana, Radha Kunda Tata? When will I see the transcendental Radha Kunda? And when I be able to serve there like this? I'm so fallen, I have no qualities, I have no strength, nothing, zero. But Srila Gurudev is so powerful. He's so powerful that he can even control Radha. Radhika that controls Krishna. Like Krishna is Govinda Nandini Radha Govinda Mohini. Govinda Nandini, she is the one that gives pleasure to Govinda. He is the one that gives pleasure to the whole universe. But she is the one that pleases him. Govinda Nandini Radha Govinda Mohini. He is completely, Krishna can bewilder the whole universe, all the living entities, all the even cupids. Millions of cupids fall at the beauty of Krishna. But Radhika, she can completely control by her amazing devotion and love. She controls Krishna. So imagine our Gurudev. She controls Radharani. The Manjaris have so much love that they can control Srimati Radhika, which is the controller of the control of all the universes. So, like this 3 verses last to finish, otherwise it's not complete. Because I remember Srila Gurudev speaking in Govardhan. There are so many sannyasis for 2-3 days speaking about Radha Tattva, Radha Tattva, Radha Tattva. Very beautiful Harikatha. But at the end, Gurudev said, Yasya kadapi vasananjala kelanota dhanyati dhanya pavanena kritartamani Jogindra durgamagati madhusudanopi tasyo namustrubhishabhanu bodhishapi. How Radhika, when she's walking and the breeze touches the tip of her veil, just the tip of her veil, and takes that fragrance, and it touches Krishna. Then immediately, what happens? He is the control of all the universes. All the yogis pray to attain him, but they cannot. But now just touching the breeze that touched the scent of Radhika's corner of her veil, and it touches Krishna. Krishna thinks, oh, now my life is successful. Now I have regained my life. So Prabhupada Saraswati Thakur says, I pray to that direction, wherever is the house of the daughter of Vrishabhanu Maharaj, to that direction I offer my pranams. Krishna feels completely realized. His life has sense. His life is successful because he is able to smell the fragrance of Srimati Radhika's corner of her veil. This is Prabhupada Saraswati praying in Radharasa Sudhamini. Or another beautiful verse that is Jat Kinkari Shubhausava Luka Kubani Nityam Parasya Purusasya Shikandamole Tasya Kadara Sanite Vrishabhanu Jaya Tatkeli Kunja Babananga Mamarjanisyam. This is Prabhupada Saraswati praying in Radharasa Sudhamini. He says, the Kinkaris, the very beautiful young maidservants of Radharani. When Krishna comes, for 3 days he's in the door, in the gate of the Kunja, and he's weeping and kakubani with a broken voice, please, let me enter, please, can I enter? And crying, the Rupa Manjari, no, get out, Lampa, cheater, no, we don't want you here. And because he left Radhika waiting for 3 days, so he left her waiting all night. So now she's angry for 3 days. She doesn't allow him in the Kunja. He's crying, please, let me in. Yat kinkari shubahusaba lokakubaini nityam parasa purusasha shikandumule tasyakada rasanider prishabhanu jaya. When will I be able to? That ocean of mercy, Radharani, Rasanider Prishabhanu jaya. Tatkeli kunja babananga mamar, tankeli kunja babananga mamar. So Prabhupada Saraswati prays, when could I become a stick of the broom, a stick to sweep that kunja in which although Krishna is the controller and creator of millions of universes, now he's on his knees, not to Radharani, not to Radhika, to the maid servants of Srimati Radhika, to the Kinkaris. And he's weeping, please forgive me, let me enter, please forgive me. He is praying, let me in. And Prabhupada Saraswati Thakur, when will I be able to become a stick of this kunja, so I can sweep this kunja where even Krishna is not allowed in? The power of the Kinkaris, of the maidservants of Radhika, the Manjaris. So these verses. Then the third one, Benum Karamni Patitam Skalitan Shikandam Brastam Chapita Brasanam Rajarana Suru Yasyakatak Saragata Vimuchitasya Tam Radhika Parichadami Kadarasena. Prabhupada Saraswati Thakur in Radharasa Sudhamini says, when will I be able to serve full of ras? That Krishna, which Radhika with only Sadakataksha Saragata Vimu, one sidelong glance, like arrows, pierce his heart, and Krishna, his peacock falls on the ground, his flute falls on the ground, his clothes get all loosened, and finally, Bimurchita says, boom, he faints. When will I be able to serve with so much ras? This Brishavanu Nandini. So Gurudev, after days of people speaking Radha Tata, he concluded with those 3 verses of Radha Rasa Sudhanidhi, Prabhudananda Saraswati Thakur, and he says, oh, this is the real glorification of Srimati Radhika. Gaura Premanande, Hari Hari Om. Jai Jai Shri Radhe, Jai Jai Shri Radhe, Jai Jai Shri Radhe, Sham.